it just blows my mind that some people still think that I buy a property in Singapore and it's going to rise in value by a lot, in the next years. Yes, it has in the past. Is it continue to go up in value over time? Yes, it will, but not to the same degree as we've seen in the past, right? And at the same time, you're making a loss every single month because the rent can't even cover the mortgage in Singapore and big cities. That just was one thing that I felt, okay, it doesn't really work. Each property you buy, yes, there are some projects maybe in Singapore that would make you good money if you hold it for 5, 10 years. But there are also those that have not risen, even though people have bought it for 10, 15, 20 years. So it's a bit of the luck of the draw. Um, Even though some of these might be in great locations next to MRT. Yeah, and it also requires a huge amount of capital to get started in Singapore, not to mention all the ABSD and TDSR restrictions. So then people start to look overseas, right? And maybe overseas property is better to invest in. Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. These are kind of like maybe in one category where people realize that, yeah, the economy is not as developed. Properties are cheaper by Singaporean lenses and standards, once again, maybe 300,000, 400,000 Singapore dollars. However, the locals in Cambodia and Vietnam are no chance that they're going to be staying in these properties because the average wage is maybe 500 USD per year. So you're looking to rent out to expats. It is a more risky strategy coming back to ordinary properties for ordinary people, because in times where economies go up and down, and when economies go down, then the expats are sent home. And that's where you're going to get huge voids, and you can't sell these properties. You can't rent out these properties, and you're kind of stuck. So for me, maybe another huge insight, or belief that people have is they think I should get in because of the upside, right? But for me, the way to build a stable and safe portfolio is always to think, what are my exit options? Can I sell the property? Is there going to be a large majority of people that can buy or rent this property even when times are bad? And once again, coming back to Singapore analogy of a HDB, well, in times of where people are spending, then great, people are buying condos, they're upgrading. However, when people have to tighten their belts, people are downgrading. Nobody's buying a huge penthouse. Nobody's buying a condo in a big city center. People are buying smaller units. People might be even downgrading to HDBs. I saw an article just in April 2023, of an expat that used to stay in the 2-bedroom in Marina Bay, and he downgraded to a 4-bedroom HDB flat. And it just goes to show you the strength and the wisdom behind buying ordinary properties for ordinary people, because these are just recession proof. They will make money in every situation, every economic condition. And when we think about our strategies in the UK of buy-to-lets, social housing, and houses for multiple occupation, HMOs, these are really recession-proof strategies, because if people need to tighten their belts, then they would stay in smaller buy-to-lets, like 2-bed terrace houses or maybe a flat. And if they are in an even more difficult situation, been made redundant or lost their job, they could always rent a room in a nice HMO, which could look quite swanky, just like this hotel room I'm in. Yeah, it depends, right? The different classes of HMO. So it could be those that are done up for working professionals, a little bit nice. There might be some feature walls, some dressing on the wall, which actually doesn't really cost very much to put up a painting, have some mood lighting, right? And still cost the person much less than renting a whole house, all right, or a whole flat. I mean, I'll just show you a little bit around the room to give you a sense. Here, and then obviously it has quite a nice view outside. This would be very comfortable for a single working professional working in, the town or a hospital nearby. One of our tenants is a professional doctor, and it was great. And then even in HMOs, there are those that come with ensuite bathrooms, which cost maybe a bit more, say about £110 per room per week, which is nothing because people are paying £100 per night in a hotel. Yet you can get such good facilities. And then there are those that are maybe without the attached toilet. There's a shared toilet or bathroom. And then even for those who totally can't even afford to pay this, really struggling to get by, there's that social housing strategy
Mm.
where, councils in the UK is taking care of vulnerable tenants, homeless people. So you see that there really is a huge layer, and especially if you build a portfolio amongst these three different strategies, it's so safe. In times of recession, actually rental demand goes up.